Beastmaster Rodeo has been with us since the beginning. Whether you are just getting into rodeo or a longtime athlete, Beastmaster Rodeo gear has what you need. Here's the deal. Lots of rodeo gear companies are coming out, but not all are equal. Beastmaster is really setting the bar when it comes to the equipment that is built for durability and designed for success in the arena. You guys can check them out at beastmasterrodeo.com. Use our discount code Championliving24. That's Championliving24. Going to save you a little bit at checkout. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Champion Living Podcast, the only podcast crossing the lines between the sport of rodeo and fitness. Today's episode, we're talking about training on the go, how to fit fitness in when you're, on the road working, on the road rodeoing, when you're just not in your normal routine. We know it can be tough at times, a little challenging, maybe a little intimidating, but we're going to get that all sorted out right now. Paul, how are you, buddy?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. We're missing Logan this week. It's weird. I had no you last week, and then we have no Logan this week. So we actually have to talk the first 5 minutes.
Yes, we'll have to fill those in. Maybe we'll just play like elevator music for like 7 or 8 minutes.
And then we'll get to talking after that.
Yeah,
that's funny. That's so funny.
Yeah. We don't know what to do right here in this part, guys. So
we're
we'll
usually
be
talking
right
about
back.
kids and sheep. But what the eclipse just happened yesterday, and you
Yes, it
took the
did.
day off with the family to watch that all. How, dude, fill me in, because we were not. Montana's not in the line of the pathway. We didn't see anything. It was a normal day here.
So we were in the path of totality this time, and I remember back in, was it 2017 or something, was the last one that kind of went across the states, and that one was like a half where I was at there, and so I was actually really excited. I like space and
Dude, it's
nerdy
pretty
stuff,
interesting. Yeah,
and anything that's like bigger than me, really. Like I love mountains, I love space, I love like things that are like that I can't comprehend. Like that's what I like that stuff, and like with the kids, we've been kind of like leading up to it, kind of explaining them, it's going to get dark in the middle of the day, and like I don't think they really got it. So we did a couple science projects and stuff with them, and honestly, like I didn't even really understand what it was like going to be like for that 4 minutes, like when you're in the full eclipse. Um, it was a wild experience, and I totally understand all the hype now around it. That was one of the things that, like, we live in a pretty touristy area anyway, but we're not really necessarily next to any major highways, so like you can't accidentally
you have
find
to
our
try to
town.
get to there.
You have to
Yeah,
try to get here.
yeah.
And so like people all week leading up to it are like, "Oh, there's going to be so many people here. There's going to be so many people here." And then like, yesterday or Sunday afternoon we're out to lunch, and there was a lot of people in town from out of town, but it's like it doesn't really feel like any different than any other summer day, like when there's people here fishing and stuff. And so everybody's like, "Well, I wonder what all the hype was about. Like there's not that many people." And then so just like a lot of people in town just kind of being down about the whole thing. And no, like it was for sure like if I ever have the opportunity again to see one, like I'm gonna do it. I'll even travel for it. Like that, just that 4 minutes of darkness, even leading up to it. So to kind of anybody that didn't experience it or has never experienced one, so like it kind of starts to get a little dark as it starts, and it not really. It just more the sun's still out, so, like, there's still shadows on the ground. It's just, like, it looks different. It looks more like twilight or, like, dusk or dawn or something. Um, but the shadows kinda look different because of the obstruction of the sun. So, like, the shadows on the ground look different. The birds stop chirping because they think it's nighttime, and then the wind stops, and so it's like it gets really still, it gets really quiet, and then it goes from light to darkness, like, in the blink of an eye, like, as it gets closer. Like almost the entire sun's almost covered up, but it's still light out, and then boom, it goes dark, and it stays dark for like that 3 or 4 minutes or whatever it is, and then boom, it's light again. Like and it was just a wild experience because like when it's in the total eclipse, like you can stare directly at it, and you can see like the rays of the sun like beaming out from the side, but it doesn't hurt your eyes to look directly at it. And it was just, I don't know, it was super cool. It was really cool to experience it with the kids. They thought it was pretty insane. Like they
I
were
bet.
When it went dark, they just started running around. They're like, "This is crazy!" Like it just went mad.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
yeah, it was really good.
That sounds really cool, man. I watched a video. It was actually a fishing guide down by you, and
Hmm.
it was his wife, I think, was videoing it. And when it went dark, like you said, all the daytime birds stopped,
Hmm.
and in 2 minutes of the darkness, the owls were talking and the coyotes were
Hmm.
howling, and it was wild to hear and kind of take
And
that
then when
in.
it starts to come back out, yeah, like then it sounds like morning. Like those like
Wow.
songbirds that are kind of
Yeah.
just like doing their own thing in the morning. It sounded like morning again, but it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was just
What a
it was
trip.
totally it was wild.
Yeah, that's a
And then I
trip.
was thinking like, what did people think like a
Right?
couple thousand years ago
The
when
world's
that would
ending.
happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
well,
like
it
some
just
people
gets
thought this
dark in the
time.
middle of the day. Yeah,
Yeah,
no kidding.
that would be
People still think
crazy.
the world's ending.
Yeah, or that they're gonna. Did you? This is so far off left, but I was talking with Jesse Elam,
Mhm.
and we're talking about the eclipse, and he's like, "Dude, people are getting crazy down here in the path of totality." I was like, "I can only imagine." He goes, "No, like legit, there are people." And I saw he sent me a news article. 150 people, women, gathered for an orgy in hopes that their child would have superpowers
What?
being conceived during the eclipse. Yes, I am not even lying.
What?
Tyler, you can look it up. Look it up. I'm not even lying. I'm not lying at all. 150 chicks thinking that they're gonna have Superman, and Jesse writes, "The next Marvel, next Marvel movie's gonna be wild." Oh, I was crying. Did you find it, Tyler?
Um,
All the ones that I was seeing were like
looking for it.
the world's gonna like end and stuff. I've seen a few
Oh,
crazy
dude,
conspiracies,
it's just
but
distractions. They're all just
oh yeah.
distractions that way. Let me find this article real quick because I was like, what in the actual? Oh, yeah, here it
I did
is.
not see that one.
Did y'all hear that there are 168 women at a camp in Smithville, Oklahoma, just north of Broken Bow, who are wanting to get pregnant during the eclipse? I kid you not. They're saying their children will have superpowers. It says I have a lot of unanswered questions. First, of course,
Yeah.
is will this be a magical pregnancy or will there be men involved? Oh, dude. I question humanity's sanity a lot when I read things
I
like that.
question a lot of things that go on in Broken Bow anyway, so that's
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. So, well, if you thought you were having a bad day, it can go up because at least you're not in that group of people that thinks
yeah.
that because that's the bottom.
Yeah.
What's going on in PRCA? I feel like we were just getting the Texas Swings just wow, words are tough.
Mm.
Finishing up, and didn't they make that like a series now? Like there's a Texas Swing winner for each event essentially. Like Cowboy Channel was talking about how Rocker won the Texas Swing in the bareback riding, blah blah blah. Who's are there certain I haven't been taking that I've been terrible about keeping track. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to kind of bring up the stats and see where's everybody at? Is there any surprises in any events? What's going on?
Well,
Tyler,
one
does
that I
Tyler have
want
it
to
pulled up too? Tyler's got it
yeah,
first.
one that I want to bring to light real quick is, and I'm gonna butcher her last name. Maybe you guys remember it, but that Danielle and the breakaway roping. Have you been watching, keeping up with her?
Mm-mm.
Holy smokes, man! She won. I think she won. Oh man, I don't want to speak out, but I think she won Fort Worth and Houston, and like maybe one of the
Oh,
smaller ones in Texas too.
yeah. What's her name?
Um,
Danielle
like a
Wellman.
yes,
Yeah, she's won
that is
$55,000 in 8 rodeos.
that's crazy.
At
Yeah,
a girl. That's sick. That's so cool for
Uh,
just that event in particular to see that amount of money being won in um we're in the first quarter of the year, really?
mm-hmm.
Of the calendar year. I know it's not the first quarter of the rodeo year, but I'm going to call it the first quarter because really it doesn't really start for me until January. Denver kicks off, then I'm like, okay, we're rodeoing. But $55,000 for a breakaway roper. I think if you go rewind to the first year that they had the NFR with breakaway in it, I'm pretty sure 55,000 made it in was as like a higher number.
Mm-hmm.
So to see the ability to be able to win that amount of money this early in the season for breakaway ropers is badass, and I think we've seen that coming. I think that sport right there is the hottest thing in rodeo right now.
Mm-hmm. So she's even behind Jackie Crawford still.
Jackie's such a legend.
Jackie's got like 75 grand one, but Danielle does have a $20,000 lead over third place. So, yeah, she's been just lights out, like sub 2 second runs every single time, and it's been wild to
To
watch.
win a check, you got to be under 2. I'm pretty sure at most of these things,
Oh yeah,
unless they're big arenas with a long score. They're roping them dumb. Like I can't
mm-hmm.
even fathom those 1/6s and stuff. It's hard to fathom that. Being able to get the rope out of your hand that quick, line up the barrier that perfect, and whack, and do it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, doing it one time is, I think
Well,
what
yeah,
most people
there's
try.
zero room for error,
Done.
like zero, and you have to do it consistently, and like that's what I think is so impressive. Is like
I think it's a flow state with them, getting in that
absolutely.
state of when we don't think about anything, we just do. We do what we know how to, and when you get in that flow state, I just remember being in CrossFit, and even when I started riding bucking horses again, I just didn't worry about anything. The feeling of where everything should be in each moment of your ride and run, and it just happens, and you know when to release, you know when to put. It's hard to explain, but it's a crazy cool experience when you actually get in that state. But I guarantee most of those girls, man, even probably other events as well, are in a flow state. It just happens. They just get it
Mm-hmm.
done. What about? I know you got the standings pulled up, Tyler. I want to talk about some young guys. Like, who are the new and up and comers? Let's talk about bull riding. Is there anybody young and up and coming that's just smashing it? Even permits, like, what's that looking like?
Man, one of he's number 3 in the world right now, and that's Luke Mast. And he
I saw
I
that.
mean, of course, like San Antonio was a big one for him and everything. But man, there's a lot of young guys that they're not like way up there in the standings yet, but they're definitely making their way up. Like Jeter Lawrence is another one.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
There's man,
Who's
I'm
winning
kind
the
of curious.
world?
Like right now it's Creek
Creek.
Young's number 1 in the
Oh,
world.
he's been on fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Him and Sellers have kind of been the standouts this season so
God, I
far.
love seeing Sellers back at it doing his thing, man.
Yep.
That guy is so cowboy and such a stand up dude. Um, I know he had to sit out a while, and it's hard when you're that level of a competitor to sit out and stay on the sidelines. But I know he was really serious about his recovery, and you can see it now. It's the fruits of his labor are showing in what's going on here, and he's been strapping them and doing it well. So shout out to him and Creek. Good job, boys. Keep it up. And Luke Mass, I just started following him. So yesterday I like kind of geeked out and watched a whole bunch of his rides. The kid is fucking rank.
Mm-hmm.
Really
So
rank.
so funny story about him. I went to 1,000 headed rodeo of one of Cord McCoy's in Ada. This was 2 years ago, and so we go down there and like we're thinking Cord's got like his just good stuff down there, and he like shows up and he's like, "Man, I got riding solo. Do you know what that is?" And at the time, he was the number 1 bull in the world. And so I remember Trey Kimsey was there too, and he was like, "Dude, all you got to do is look up YouTube riding solo, and you're gonna see him." And so
Yeah.
yeah, I watched him get on him for $1,000, and like
Wow.
started him really well. And I was like, "Dude, somebody else just got on him last weekend
Why
for
would they bring
30,000."
him there?
It's like
Crazy to me.
so it's one of Cord's home rodeos, so
Oh, that makes
it's
sense.
kind of
That
a
makes
big deal
sense.
for him
Yeah,
down there.
no,
But
that
yeah,
makes sense.
And
it
Cord's
was pretty fun.
card's pretty new too, so he's trying in an attempt to get solo to the finals. He had to have a certain amount of outs on him, and so with him having a new card, it had like he doesn't have like these long-standing
Mm-hmm.
committee backings or anything. So like he wasn't able to add a lot of money at that first year when he was doing it, but he still needed the outs for solo to be able to get him to the finals, and so that was kind of uh one of the ways that he's worked it in. Another tactic I would say that he used is
Oh, this is a good one.
Cord's
When he
been
enters
entering.
himself, yes.
Yes, he enters himself and he draws solo, and then he just turns out when he gets there, and it still counts as an out. So for the bull,
What a smart move, dude. Like,
that
hey,
guy is
Play the
Yeah,
game.
he's
Like, don't hate the
yeah.
player, hate the game, because he's just playing by the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the rules are dumb.
Yep.
You have to do dumb shit to overcome them. Like Sage going to have him put his foot on a bull
Yep.
just to get his count. Like, how idiots.
Yep. But yeah, Luke's come a long ways in a pretty short amount of time. I talked to him 2 years ago at a bull run, or it was the Extreme Bulls and Broncs in Poplar Bluff, and he's cousins to Marcus Mast, who rides in the PBR,
Yeah,
and
I
so
figured they're related somehow.
yep, and so he's got pretty big shoes to, I guess, not fill, but he's got an older cousin or that is dominating in the bull riding world. Um, but yeah, he's come a long ways and he has been riding lights out this year. And so it's really fun to watch a guy like that work hard and it pay off for him.
Dude, that's my favorite thing ever, is to watch people put in the
Mhm.
work and it come together for them. It's like we were just talking about that in our coaches meeting today. Like, we aren't in this for the money, right? If there's a guy that I know is hungry and this is going to change his whole trajectory, and the one thing that he's missing is a couple extra dollars to meet the requirement that I need on a, like, no, we're going to work around that. We're going to find a way to help you, dude, because at the end of the day, I want to see you achieve everything you ever wanted to, and that's my goal. I
Mhm.
don't, the money is so I can live. It's not so I can
Yeah.
get rich.
Yeah.
It's so I could live and keep doing this. So to see guys put in that work and see them be successful, and it's almost like that shock factor for them, like, holy shit, it worked. Like, it
Mhm.
actually worked. Like, yeah, dude, it does. It's awesome. So I love that, man. And it's cool to see the young guys taking off. I was just looking at the bareback riding. Shout out LB for being number one in the world right now. Dude's got, I think, almost $80,000 won already. That is crazy. He's been crushing it during the Texas swing as well. But dude, we talked about all the young guys in the standings at the, or the first young guys to make the NFR last year in the bareback riding. There were 5 new
Mhm.
ones. I'm scrolling through this top 15 right now, and granted, this is going to change a lot as the season continues. But I'm counting 7 or 8 that are rookies or on their second year,
Mhm.
third year. They're new guys. Coop Cooks in 4th place. Kid has been riding outstanding. Um, Sam Peterson, one of our guys, been with us since, man, he was in high school. The kid is going to be at the NFR in no time. He is, man, stand up dude, puts in the work, gets it done. Weston Timberman, same thing. Those
Mhm.
guys are going together. They're winning together. They're feeding off each other's energy. It's cool to see a group of young kids, young guys, fired up and hitting it hard and doing it right. Those guys are putting in the work. So big shout out to them. It's getting exciting. It really is, to see the amount of money that is being won this early in the season. I mean, I'm looking at the top 40 in the bareback riding, and 40th place has 12 grand won. Now, granted, that's not a lot of money, but we get up to 20th place, they're stacked in like every $200 from 25,000 and up. So for these guys to be able to make that amount of money this quick is awesome. And to see it be that tight of a race, it's going to be a hell of a race going to the finals this year.
Mhm.
Every event, it looks really exciting. So it's going to be
Yeah,
cool.
it's cool to see the shift too. I mean, we've been talking about it for years now, but like this new generation of athlete. And like I'm scrolling through the standings in the bareback riding, and there's a couple on there, one or two maybe, that like don't necessarily like train in the way that we would think of it, like, working out. Some of them still are just cowboying it and honing their skill. And there's nothing wrong with that because nothing's going to take you further than honing your skill.
Mm-hmm.
But like just looking through here, like all of these dudes crush it in the gym. They're dialing in their recovery. They're
Mm-hmm.
treating themselves like athletes and they're filling the top 15.
Yeah, it's it's not an accident that they're there,
Yeah.
right? They're very intentful about what they're doing, how they're training. Most of these guys have coaches, and the ones that don't, I hate to say it, but they won't be in the same position come September. It's just not.
Hmm.
It won't be feasible. And something I did want to say, this is kind of along the same lines, but a little bit not as well. But like look at other professional teams, sports, football, whatever. Look at Tom Brady. Obviously, these guys have a way different situation in their bankroll. They can afford to hire resources to help them in ways that a lot of us can't. But what I mean by that is they're investing in their coaches. They're getting a strength and conditioning specialist. Most of them have their own. They don't use the teams. They invest in someone that does their own training. They usually hire chefs to take care of their nutrition. They are, dude, investing tons of money in their sleep. So whether it's, cooling mattresses, saunas, like whatever it is to get them ready to sleep better. They're investing all these money in these things. They didn't learn those things by themselves. They hired professionals to help them be better at whatever their profession is, playing football, playing basketball, being a soldier, like whatever it is. They don't do it themselves. And that's what we run into a lot in rodeo is thinking that they know it's good enough. I feel good now. You're a professional rodeo athlete. You're not a strength coach, right? So why would you not reach out to the professional to help you get better at your profession? And that's what I see the most is guys being at this elite level. They've gotten themselves there by themselves. They've done all this work. They've hired no one. They feel like they know everything, which understandable. In the same sense, though, you can only get so far until you need those professionals to help you on your team. Y'all, if you're having trouble sleeping or you've got really achy muscles, Power Pro CBD has teamed up with us to bring you their tinctures and their warming lotions. Guys, these have been a crucial part of my nightly routine. The tincture, take 2 full drops underneath the tongue right before bed, and my HRV and recovery scores have never been higher. And not to mention the warming cream, y'all. I swear by this stuff. It works immediately. 10 plus years of rodeo experience and working out for another 10 plus years pretty intensely, I come across some aches and pains. And so that warming lotion is my go-to to get rid of those and to get rid of it quickly. Y'all can check them out at PowerPro, PWRpro.com. Use our discount code Championliving, all one word, to save you a good chunk at discount. As you all know, we are always rocking HOOEY. HOOEY has the best gear because it's tough. It's durable. It withstands the test of what we put it through, and that is why I am a big supporter of HOOEY brands. Guys, from hats, apparel, whatever you need, they've got you covered. They are the perfect blend of rodeo style and athletic performance. You can check them out at HOOEYBrands.com. Use our discount code ChampionLiving, all one word, is going to save you a little bit at checkout. And it's like a hard thing to explain to somebody. They go to the gym, they work out hard, they kill it, and they feel like they're doing something. But what if you could do it better and smarter and
it goes back to that saying. It goes back to the saying of like if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yes.
Like if you've got like guys around you that know what like are taking care of you, looking out for you, like it's gonna propel you so much further because you're getting a different set of eyes on it. And when you're in the heat of competition, you're often blinded by that tunnel vision that you have to have. Like you have to have tunnel vision in order to get to your goal, but that blinds you from a lot of like the whole perspective. And so if you have somebody that can take a step back for you so that you don't have to do it, and then they can insert where you're lacking, it just makes everything work so much better. And to go along with what you were saying, like, some of these guys won't be where they are in September. Like right now, we're still in the Texas swing. These guys are spending a lot of time at home right now. They're flying out to rodeos, but they're going back home and they're home for several days. And so they're in their routine and they're working out. And it's easy when you have a schedule and you're in your comfort zone and you can work out on your own terms. It gets hard during the summer run when you're on the road all the time. And I think that leads in perfectly to like what we're going to talk about today is like how in the heck do you actually make that happen when you are out of your comfort zone? You don't have your normal equipment. Like everything's different. Your schedule's not the same from day to day. So
yeah, we're going to jump into that right now because it is tough. It's overwhelming, but with a little bit of planning and some forethought, you can get it done. And that's really the bottom line that comes up here is travel is hard. Being on the road is hard. If you're a rodeo athlete, it's hard because you're not home. You're out of your routine. But bottom line, you have to make it a priority and make the time to do the fitness along throughout the year. And I'm actually making a post this week about training volume throughout the year, throughout the season, what it should look like, how many times you should be training, what you should be focusing on, why that changes. When we're on the road, like I said, it's stressful already. So I'm not the intensity automatically for me is going to come down when I start thinking about training. I just want to change my mindset is going to be changed from I'm trying to see growth here to I need to move to feel good, to continue my routine. And so when I get home, I can pick right back up to where I was, right? So we're talking about maintaining what we have. And during those 3 months, July, August, September, when it gets really crazy and there's a ton of money to be won and we see about half of the field drop off because of injury or they're not going to make the NFR, whatever it is, those guys that continue and girls that continue to put the time in and the effort are the ones who are reaping the benefits immensely at the end of the season, winning 50, 70 grand in 3 months, like insane numbers here. But it really does come down to that, staying consistent with that and finding ways to do it. And what we're finding is, bottom line, if you train all year long and stop training during the season, you're a clown. Like, you are. Oh, it's just such a bummer. It kills me to see it, to hear people say, oh, I trained 6 months and I'm taking the season off. You have got to continue to prepare your body and let it know that it's going to be in a competitive stimulus. It's going to be in a high intensity stimulus as well. Like, you have to remind it to do those things. If we stop, your body forgets how to react in a proper movement pattern. So,
well, the season in general is just it's set up for you to fail. Like, the road is too
1,000%.
the road is too hard. Like, you are going to regress on the road if you're not doing anything. Like, it's just that's how it is. And so like you were saying earlier, like, your focus and your training during in season needs to be to not lose any ground, like maintain at all costs, because we say it all the time, like, guys are going to lose 10 to 15 pounds probably if they're not focusing on their nutrition. They're gonna experience different levels of soreness that, like, they didn't get an experience in the slower times throughout the year. So yeah, I mean, it's literally set up for them to regress.
Yeah. Who's the toughest guy? Who's the toughest one out here? Who can last? It's a marathon, right? That being said, I've talked to tons of athletes that say, like, there's no way I'm lifting weights on the road during the season. Cool. That's not what I'm talking about. We're going to talk about things you can add in and bring with you and places you can go to work out on the road. But I just want to touch on, like, the style of exercise it doesn't have to be resistance training right now. Like, you don't have to go back squat heavy or deadlift heavy. If you could 1 day a week, that would be sick. But looking at the schedule, rodeoing 5 times a week, driving thousands of miles in a week, like, dude, that's not feasible. So what can we do? We can work on the mobility for sure. Get your body feeling better, moving through those full ranges of motion, reminding, like, hey, we're not stuck in the truck all day. We're not cooped up. We're okay. And then we can start reminding that, hey, we need to be powerful here. We need to be explosive, jumping air squats, explosive push-ups. You can do these things with just body weight, reminding yourself that max contraction, creating that stimulus in your body that's going to be need to use in the arena is, like, it's just conditioning, if you will, for that part of your CNS, right? So it doesn't have to be crazy, but also that's, if you're having trouble with that, don't know what to do, that's why we're here as coaches. Hit us up. Go to our website, championlivingfitness.com, free consult. Well, even if you don't sign up, we'll just answer questions. Like, we just want to help people. So hit us up, fill out a free consult, especially if you're going to be gone this summer or on the road for work or whatever it is. We can create plans for anything. Okay, so let's get into, where the hell do you work out on the road? And this is going to be these 3 things we're going to talk about. I'm going to have, like, the focus to be for different groups of people. So let's say a hotel gym. Most hotels have gyms. One thing you can control is if you are going to a hotel, whether it's summer vacation, rodeos, whatever, do a little research and make sure they do have a gym. So you have somewhere to go, right? There are hotels without gyms. I've checked into them and been like, damn it, I should have looked this up before. It's really
and some
easy.
of them have gyms and it's like a glorified closet with
or they're
a treadmill stuck in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no room to do anything.
Turns out gym has very, very different meanings all over the United
Yeah.
States. So do your research if you're going to a hotel. Check it out. Every research engine online is going to have all of those stats for you to check it out. So if you're going to stay at a hotel, that's going to be my number one. If you need a gym, go there. Second, Planet Fitness, even though I think the concept is stupid, it's awesome because
Or
you can,
anytime would be a better
anytime. Okay, there we
suggestion.
go. Yeah, Anytime Fitness.
Yeah.
One of these places you can get a key card that works. They have a place in pretty much every city in every state. And I have
Mhm.
lots of athletes that do that. Josh Ross is one, and he uses them everywhere. We had one that we found it anytime in Australia, yeah. And he
Mhm.
was like, "I want to go scan it and see if it works." Like literally anywhere you can go, you can use that card, right? And so I know they all have apps with their locations on them as well. Most of those gyms, so you can just be in a location. Where's the closest gym? Go. That requires planning, just like the hotel gym. You're gonna have
Mhm.
to plan your day, to plan your schedule. Like we're driving in at this time, we get into town this time. How long till the rodeo? Do I even have time to go to a gym? Whatever.
Yeah,
But
and
that's a
those
great
are good
option.
options for guys that are like in sprinter vans or capris and stuff that aren't staying in hotels, because a lot of times you can go in there and get showers too at Planet Fitness or Anytime Fitness. They're open 24/7, so you can go in and get you a workout, get you a shower, clean up, kind of get out of the camper for a minute, stretch your legs, and
Dude, a
those
lot of those
are
places have
I've
hot
got.
tubs and saunas too,
Hmm.
which are just a great addition for recovery.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, no, they have you don't think about that. It's like, oh, I can get a shower. Dude, a lot of them have like protein bar, like snacks, shakes, whatever. You can get a good shake. Like, there's a lot of things you can get
Hmm.
at a good gym. So check
And
those out.
and if yeah, and if there's no Planet Fitness or Anytime Fitness, or you don't have a membership, like, you can get a day pass at pretty much any gym.
Oh yeah,
Like, anybody's gonna be able to sell you a day pass. It's usually somewhere between 5 and $10. The amenities might be different depending on where you're at, and maybe you have a Planet Fitness membership, but, like, there's no barbell at Planet Fitnesses, and you wanna, like, go to you know, a cool gym, like, or that's like an experience, and maybe you're in Houston and you heard about this gym and you want to go see this cool big gym. Just go get a day pass and go get your workout in and get after it.
absolutely. The the last, and I'm going to say the most reliable thing that we suggest
Hmm.
for our athletes is bringing some equipment on the road. We have an awesome partnership with a company called GetRx, GETRXD. We'll have a link in the show notes for you guys to check it out. But they're a fitness equipment company. They're based out of Houston, Texas, and we've actually created a rodeo athlete essentials package. And so what this has is resistance bands, mini bands, a kettlebell, and one slam ball. As a In a group, if I was to like hold them all together, they would be like smaller, about a 5 gallon bucket tops
Hmm.
filled with stuff that can be stored in a horse trailer, in a sprinter van, in a camper, in the trunk of a car, anywhere. And you can take those with you and do workouts anywhere and do everything and anything you need to with just that minimal equipment, which is awesome. Time off to the horse trailer, time off the truck, whatever it is, the bands, like there's tons of options that you can do. And you don't have to go anywhere. You can literally pull it out there at the truck stop. You can pull it out at the rodeo. Requires a little bit less planning, but you still have to be pretty intentful about saying, hey, when we get to there, I'm going to get this movement session in. I'm going to get these
Hmm.
workouts in.
Anywhere that I'm driving, I'm packing at least one kettlebell, at least one band, and a lacrosse ball, no matter what. Like, if I'm driving somewhere, like, that's what I'm doing,
Absolutely.
because it takes up literally no
No
space,
space.
no extra space.
Mhm.
You can do pretty much any exercise
Yep.
variation that you can think of with those three things. And it takes the excuse away. Like, then I can't say I can't find a gym or I can't find the time, because if I've got 20 minutes and 5 feet of extra space, I'm only 5'6" tall. So maybe if you're taller, you need 6 feet of space, but
Yeah.
I can get
That's
it in
good.
no matter what.
Yeah, and that's the thing here, and it's been a funny thing to work through with clients as well, especially athletes that are rodeoing hard. Everyone's at the rodeo and everyone's watching you if you're out working out. And
Hmm.
I had, I think it was Jordan. She calls me one day last year and she's like, everyone just watches me. Like, I hate it. It makes me uncomfortable. And I said, well, why don't you just look at it as like you're setting the example, and people are wondering, like, damn, this girl's, what is she doing over there? Oh, damn, she's winning. Maybe I need to be doing that. All of a sudden, you'll start to notice more people are doing stuff. Came
Mm-hmm.
September, she noticed a lot more people doing stuff outside their trailers and making it normal. Um, so fuck what everyone else thinks. Like, do the best thing for you, because that's all real champions and leaders care about. Is like they don't worry themselves with the opinions of the sheep, right? They just
Mm-hmm.
keep doing them, and that's what makes them great at what they do. Um, so don't be scared. Get out there, move. Your body will thank you. You will be happy with yourself. You'll feel so much better. It's like, and we have legit stats now on guys, athletes that do continue this. Come September, they're ready for more. They don't want the season to
Mm-hmm.
end, and that's a big change we've seen from the first year. First year I trained guys, it was like pulling teeth to get anyone to even do maybe one mobility session, just because they were so used to, like, if I get tired, I don't do anything. I just rodeo. It's like, man, if I can get you just do 10 minutes, like cut out 10 minutes and do this mobility session, damn, I feel a lot better. Yeah. And you know what? They get hooked on that feeling a lot better. That in their brain, mobility equals feeling a lot better. So every time they get to this place of soreness, feeling, even overwhelmed, like, I'm just going to go breathe and do some mobility and get my body moving and see how I feel after that.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's a lot better. So these are all little things that anybody can do. Whether you're a rodeo athlete, whether you're a business person, or just going on a family vacation, if your health's important to you, if you have goals to stay consistent, don't let things like that stop you. Take a little initiative, do some research, find a gym, find a hotel gym, bring some things with you, even if it's just one or two bands and a lacrosse ball. Like, something is better than nothing, and you'll be really, really happy you did. Like Paul said, I don't leave the house without a lacrosse ball if I'm traveling. I'll bring that thing
Mm-hmm.
out on the plane. I'll stick it back there, rolling my shoulders on it, rolling my hips. Like, it's essential for me to feel good. And if I can take something that small with me that takes up no space and benefit that much from it, I'm going to do it. But we talk about that low hanging fruit being the free stuff to do, or the easiest things to do.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to do that stuff because it's no, that won't help.
No, it's
Promise
not
it will.
that can't be the
Yeah,
magic pill.
promises. Yeah, yeah. I had a client the other day having
Turns
calf
out.
issues, and if any of you have like tight muscles dealing with things like that, look up Kelly Starrett online.
Mm.
Kelly Starrett is someone I have followed for the last decade, to be honest, since I started CrossFit, and that was a long time ago. He teaches you how to do manual manipulation on yourself with lacrosse ball foam roller, actually teaches you how to use a foam roller correctly. And I can get the same benefits I would as having to go to an actual manual therapist to get worked on in an hour session. I can do that in 10 minutes. If I do it every day, I feel fantastic. And it's that simple. Had a client, she has this calf issue going on. The PT goes to this PT. The PT tells her to do all the stuff that every other doctor told her to do, and it hasn't worked. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, have you been doing these videos with lacrosse ball? No. I'm like, okay. I'm telling you right now, do that 4 days in a row and then call me and tell me how this feels. 4 days later, I can't believe it. It's gone. Like, it's all the way gone. I spent so much money on doctors. I spent so much money on PTs. Gone. And, that might not be the fix for everything, but I've seen that. I've had a lot of clients, even like lower back problems.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, there's a lot of things you can do to help yourself in those situations. You don't have to be I don't want to say a victim, but it's not a victim. You feel like you don't know what to do. Like, oh, my back's fucked up. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this. Look up Kelly Starrett. That dude has something for anything, hips from literally head to toe,
And
and
his
everything you
his
need.
YouTube channel goes back like 15 years
15.
or something like that.
I've sent
Like,
15-year-old videos recently, and
yeah,
because they're
and they're
legit.
still good. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he was way
He was
before his time.
way ahead of his time. Yeah.
Way before his time.
Everybody now kind of follows in his footsteps.
Well,
Like,
truth be
he kind
told,
of
dude,
paved
when
the
I
way.
had my fusion, like, that
Mm-hmm.
is doing his stuff is what fixed
Mm-hmm.
all of the post-surgery things that made me feel like I was still messed up. Like, when you have a surgery like that, a spine fusion, it changes your whole body. And honestly, when you have any kind of surgery, guys, you get cut on, it's different now. You're not ever going to be the same as you were when you got cut on. So there's a new normal you have to establish. But breaking through scar tissue, getting those full ranges of motion back, getting that tissue to actually move and work with my body was something that it hadn't done in a long time. And I did his stuff every day religiously, man, probably 30-minute sessions back then.
Yeah.
But it legitimately fixed my back and mostly my mindset about my back. It took away that
Mhm.
feeling, that tightness, that alarm feeling that made me kind of freak out. And I've had a fusion now for 10 years, and I do
Yeah.
his mobility stuff. I've had ups and downs. I've been things, times I do it all the time and times I haven't. But the one thing I find is like I always get back to it because I know how good it makes me
Oh,
feel, and
yeah.
it's so simple.
Well,
So
like,
check him
I
out.
get compliments all the time, like, from other fitness professionals or, like, Olympic weightlifters, competitors, and they're like, "Man, I wish I had your mobility."
Same.
And I'm like, I worked for
A
this.
lot.
Like, I read Kelly Starrett's book, Becoming a Supple
Supple
Leopard,
leopard.
in
Yep.
2012.
Me
Like,
too.
so that was 12 years ago,
Yep.
and I've been working I mean, I took it serious. Like, I did everything that I knew I needed to do to, like, fix my hips and, like, get my ankles loosened back up. Because even at, 18 years old, I was
Was
already
a
pretty injury ridden.
Yep.
I had
Same.
a laundry list of injuries behind me, and so I just hammered on them, and now I still do those things,
Mm-hmm.
like, even now, and so it's been 12 years of consistency that's got me here. It
Same.
didn't just happen overnight, but
Yeah. When I had that surgery, mobility, that's the first time I really learned about mobility and found out that this is actually the secret sauce to everything, to getting strong, to getting fit, to being powerful. Like you have to be mobile. And
Mhm.
so if you guys are interested in that, like to geek out on that stuff, we both highly suggest The Supple Leopard by Kelly Starrett. Uh, it's a great
I
read.
think there's an updated version
There
out now
is,
too.
yeah, there's a couple editions of it, and he also has an app as well. I don't know how much I pay for it
The re
every month. It's
Yeah,
called
the Ready State.
Ready State. Yeah, the Ready State app. I think it's 14 or 15 bucks a month, but they have anywhere you're having pain, you can pinpoint it. They'll take you through a whole pain protocol. And the coolest part is they show you that usually the pain is not the local point that is causing
Mhm.
it. It's something around it, or it's all the body's in an all encompassing thing, right? It's a chain reaction type thing. You could be having a hip problem that be caused by your ankle. But he takes you through all this and you kind of get to evaluate yourself and learn stuff about your body, which is cool. But I will warn you, it's going to suck. It hurts a little bit. It's not very fun, but mastering that, being able to be calm when all your body wants to do is panic, is the biggest benefit I've gotten from mobility work, yoga work, and my mindset. I used to
Mhm.
get super overwhelmed, and I learned this through CrossFit. But when I look back at rodeo, I realized that was one of my downfalls. Is I would get too worked up. I couldn't focus on just the essentials in rodeo and being young. That was because so much was uncontrolled, and I didn't know how to calm my mind down to not worry about the uncontrollable. In CrossFit, you're not going to die every time you get on potentially. So like those uncontrollables aren't so scary. So it made me I was able to slow down a lot more and think about Olympic lifting was the biggest thing.
Mhm.
Paul, you've been Olympic weightlifting a lot. When you
Yeah. Well,
snatch,
that's
if you,
probably the closest to the rodeo. Like, I mean,
yep,
it is a little bit more life or death.
yes, yeah, I mean, you potentially could really mess yourself up. But if you pull early, that last pull, if you pull it from mid thigh, you're going to be jumping forward and trying to fight under it, right?
Mhm.
But every part of you wants to go there. Like that's in your brain. It's like, yep, go up. But if you wait, be patient to where it is hits that hip pocket and you're over that bar just a hair still, and it's the most like you're like, I shouldn't be here right now. This is not the position, but it is. And you just have to trust yourself that that is the position. And if you stay with that, it will work. And
Mhm.
once you get to heavy weight, that's when it really matters, right? You get to those 100%, 98% of your 1 rep max, like you can't mess up. You have to do everything perfectly. And there's Matt Hooks, one of our coaches, the one who really taught me about that and just like hanging in there and digging out. And it doesn't feel great, but once it goes, you're like, oh, there it is. So when I went
Mhm.
back to riding bucking horses and got to take that mindset to it, it changed. Everything was different for me because I
Yeah.
was just focusing on the mechanics. And if I did those mechanics, no matter what was going on under me, I could control those three things and I could keep everything's gonna be good. And that's what changed everything for me. Like when I look at fitness, rodeo, I mean, even business is just keeping it simple and trusting those basics. But I don't even know where I was going now.
Yeah.
But
Well, the parallel that you made there, it's exactly what JR was talking about a couple weeks ago on the podcast, like comfort in the chaos, like understanding the
yes.
mechanics and being comfortable in those positions where you start to panic a little bit, but like you have to trust it.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Thank you for reminding me. Another client story. This client, she hates doing mobility, like hates it with all her being. The time sitting there, it just eats her up. And I said, how about we make the goal to be it go by as fast as like it's a blink of an eye. You are so comfortable and you're focusing on your breaths that all of a sudden 20 minutes is done. And you're like, whoa, what happened? That should be the goal. Like make it not suck. Make this something you love. That be adamant, be like obsessed with it. And I feel like we're all the same mindset where we just immediately go all in into something because of our inherent nature as rodeo athletes. It's what we do. We want to win. We want to go, whether it's rodeo or life or whatever. Like, give me it all. I can do it right now. She's like, damn it, you know me too well. Like that instantly turned it in my mind. It's a contest now. It's a win. It's a competition.
Now it's a competition.
Yeah. Yeah. How can I not have this suck as much today? And that's what it is. That's all it is. And once you start getting wins like that, dude, everything changes. Not just in the arena, not just in the gym, but your whole entire life will change. Guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee it. Got anything to finish this up, brother?
Man, I think that was the perfect cherry on top right there.
Cool. Guys, if you have any questions, please shoot us a DM, shoot us a message. We got you can email us on the website as well. Do us a huge favor, just leave us a review if you guys are listening. It's the only thing that helps us on the charts and gets our name out there. We love doing this show, and we're gonna keep rolling with it, but we definitely need more people to listen as well. That will help us do this longer. Till next time, guys. We'll catch you later. We're always looking for a quality protein source. That is why I look to Colorado Craft Beef for my beef needs. I'm no longer going to the store. I am putting in my order, and they are shipping it directly to my house. Some of the things I love about Colorado Craft Beef are the beef is 21 days dry aged. Y'all, that does not happen in a grocery store. The beef looks entirely different than it would if you get it from the store. It tastes entirely different than you would if you get it from the store. And the cost is very, very similar, if not better, just depending on where you are. But bottom line, you can fuel your body with some of the highest quality protein from Colorado Craft Beef. Look, the cattle, they're raised well. They're raised with care, crafted with passion, and, again, packed with protein. It's the perfect choice for athletes like us. So go check them out, coloradocraftbeef.com. You can order your premium cups there, and they also have incredible beef sticks, on-the-go options that you can take with you, packed with protein, and the best source you can get. Again, check them out at coloradocraftbeef.com. Use our discount code Championliving, all one word. Going to save you some money on that next beef order.